Hey, thanks for joining in to CNY Flavor. We got a great show in store for you today. You want to learn to cook on a shoestring budget and stretch those dollars in today's economic time? Today's the show. You're going to learn it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey, glad you're here. We got a great cooking tip here in a quick and easy, economical V8 beefy soup. I know that sounds a little strange using V8 here. Some mixed vegetables, cream of celery, onions, a little bit of margarine. I can't believe it's not butter, and a couple pounds of ground beef. You'll be able to feed a family of 6 to 8 with this, okay? Nice, wholesome, comfort food. Now, one of the good things about this, and I'll show you how to do it, because first we're going to caramelize the onions, and I'm going to show you the proper technique on caramelizing the onions. That's all it is sauteing them. You have different words that people use, but that's all it is sauteing the onions, a little bit of butter, okay? But the good thing about V8 is all vegetables, okay? So it has a wonderful mix, and if you've ever tried a V8, you hear the commercials, wow, I could have had a V8, because it has a very distinctive taste. What people don't know is that you can use it in a cooking process in a nice soup, okay, that's going to give it a wonderful taste, a comfort food that your family, your friends are going to love. So we're going to get started right now. We're going to caramelize the onion, so come on over to the stove.
Is this who you'd call if you need a mechanic? Is this who you'd call if you need a babysitter? No Sheep Designs is the right call for your business when you need professional, affordable web development, photography, or video production. With a decade of experience, we have the knowledge and passion to bring your project to life for much less than you'd expect. Visit NoSheepDesigns.com today to see how we can help you.
So we have the butter in the pan, and now we're just going to caramelize the onions, okay? One small onion for this particular recipe. And that's all we're doing. Caramelizing is simply sauteing, okay? And I like sauteing them till they're translucent, which means that you can sort of start seeing through them a little bit, okay? Get them a little bit brown. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 pounds of ground beef, and we're going to put those right in with it. And we're going to start cooking those till they're crumbly, okay, crumbling up, and then drain a little bit of the fat out, and then start adding the V8 juice and the cream of celery and the vegetables. So these are cooking well. And just to give you a little look at them, okay, see how they're starting to brown around the edges, and they're starting to get a little clear on them. You don't want to cook them all the way till they're all brown. So these here are just about done. And now I'm going to start adding the ground beef right to it. Now again, my hands have been sanitized and washed. Bare-handed contact is okay at home as long as you clean and wash your hands. As you notice too, I'm not just putting the big pound of ground beef in at a time. I'm breaking it up, which will help it cook a little bit better and quicker. Ooh. This is sauteing up very nicely. This whole process here is going to take you about 8 to 10 minutes. You're going to be able to do this whole thing in under an hour. Okay, so we'll be right back. This is cooking. It's going to take about 8 minutes or so. And when we get back, I'm going to show you how you start marrying everything and mixing it together.
Perfect Game Imaging strives to deliver sport action photography that renders images that without us, our clients and customers would normally not even see. I can't tell you how many viewers of our images have asked, How did you get that shot? Or, I didn't even see that happen during the game. It is our mission to have our action shots hanging on the walls of the athletes' families' homes and offices as centerpieces to be cherished for a lifetime.
Okay, so I drained the liquid, the excess juices out of it. Now I'm going to add the V8 juice, the cream of celery soup, and the mixed veggies, okay? Now I only need about 46 ounces. This is a 64 ounce container, so you're looking at about 2/3. So I just check it all in. Boom, 46 ounces. And add the cream of celery. And then what you're going to do is just mix this in, blend it all in, and then we're going to add the veggies. And we're going to let this simmer for approximately 45 minutes, okay, at a low simmer, which is just going to marry all the V8 juice, the cream of celery, the caramelized onions that we have in here. Now, you know, another little trick that you can do with this stuff too is if you have some elbow macaroni, you could throw like a cup of elbow macaroni in it and really extend and stretch the meal. See, this is giving it a nice, creamy, sort of like a bisque type color. Okay, so your cream of celery is already added into it. Smells wonderful. And now, just a regular 16 ounce pack of frozen veggies. Just put them right over. Make sure they're mixed in well. And this is green beans, carrots, corn. If you have a certain preference and you wanted to use, you know, a different lima bean or cauliflower, you could put some different other vegetables in there too. You don't have to limit yourself to just the mixed frozen veggies. I know some people have bad experiences as kids growing up where your parents had to make you eat certain vegetables that you just don't like. So the beauty of this is you can add or take out whatever you like. Peas are in here. It's wonderful. Look at that. There it is. We're going to let it simmer now for approximately 45 minutes. Then we'll be able to plate it and try it all out. So it's been a little more than 45 minutes. As you can see, this has really thickened up beautiful. This is the Beefy V8 soup here. Almost like a stew. It's actually wonderful. And now we're ready to plate this up. I just want to see you to see how this all actually comes out in the bowl here. Look at the thickness of this, okay? It comes right down. Oh my God. This here would heartily feed a family of 6 to 8. Look at that. See the vegetables, how they all cooked it? Oh my God, this smells great. Hey, welcome to Crazy Otto's Empire Diner. That's 100 West Albany Street right here in downtown Herkimer. You may remember me or notice me as the host at CNY Flavor. You can come on that website at cnyflavor.com and learn all about the cooking show that airs on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. But we're talking about Crazy Otto's Empire Diner right now. You know, a lot of times you see TV shows, you wonder if the cook, the chef is there, if he really actually cooks or he actually is in a restaurant. Well, I'm one of the guys that have been there, done that, and is still doing it. Right here, you can come in, you can see me cook. I'm here virtually every day. Here at Crazy Otto's, they don't call us crazy for nothing. Everything here is fresh and homemade. As you can see, we fresh slice our tomato. Everything's done fresh to order. Doing actually a BLT right now. This is Michael, also happens to be my son. Hey, all right. Hey, welcome to Crazy Otto's. Come on in, give us a try. You won't be disappointed. This is real easy. A pound of Hamburg, 1 medium onion. I'm going to use half of this because this is a large onion. 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. I used a light cane brown sugar. A couple teaspoons of black pepper. 1 whole bottle, small bottle of ketchup, Heinz ketchup I'm using. a couple teaspoons of the Worcestershire sauce. I use Lee & Perrins. And we're going to put this all together and show you today how to make some quick sloppy joes. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the onion. Okay, now it calls for 1 medium onion. This is a large onion, so we're only going to do half. Remember how I've showed you in previous episodes and how to cut the onion? Just hit it down, then this way you can peel it. It's much easier to peel that way. Okay, and we're just going to take half here. The other half we'll save for a different show. Cut straight down. Turn it sideways and then come straight down. This way they're all uniform. Turn them sideways. Come straight back. Boom. These end cuts, because I did them on its side, I flip right over, and you can take any of these here and you can see how they're all uniformly cut. And these are what we're going to saute now with a little margarine, caramelize them, translucent, same terminology we use every week. We're going to take these and saute these up. Got the pound of ground beef, we're going to put that right in, then we're going to add our ketchup and Worcestershire sauce, pepper, and brown sugar and get some sloppy joes going. So we have our onions and we're caramelizing them. Got it on a medium heat here. They'll cook up really, really fast. Little margarine in there. Same process as you've seen on other shows. You're just going to do it a little so they're translucent. Pound of ground beef. Okay, we're just going to take that, break it up a little bit. You don't want to put the whole thing in a big ball, because you're going to break this up. Remember, these are sloppy joes, so they're sloppy. So we got the ground beef going. It's all going to brown up nice. Now while this is cooking, we want to let this brown up a little bit before we start adding our other ingredients. This whole process here will take anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes if you're on the go and you got to get something done really quick. I did want to talk a little bit about ketchup, especially the Heinz ketchups, okay? You get these bottles, and if you feel the bottles and you feel around the edges right here on the lip, you'll see it's an embossed like 57, thus Heinz 57, okay? Now, this bottle is set up as like a vortex. A lot of people don't know this. You go into restaurants and stuff and you get a bottle of ketchup and you're standing there and you're trying to hit it and you're shaking it, okay, and the ketchup won't come out and you're sticking your knife in there and you're just like trying to pull it out. Well, they actually designed the bottle so that if you hold it at like a 45-degree angle to a 90-degree angle down, and you hit right on the embossing here on where the 57 is, the ketchup comes out much smoother. I'll show you that in a second. I give that little tip out at my restaurant all the time because I use Heinz at my restaurant at Crazy Otto's. And you see people that are traveling or locals, they come in and they're fighting with the ketchup and they're trying to hit it and sticking their knives in there. And you know, once how it's supposed to work, once someone sticks their knives in there, you don't know whether they've used it on their plate or not, so you have to throw the whole bottle of ketchup out. So I would rather give them the little tricks and the little of the trade there to try to save myself some ketchup. So I'm actually being a little selfish. But I know we use Heinz at home too, and it's good to know that. Okay, so this is nice. You don't have to kill this, okay? You don't have to kill the ground beef because you still want it nice and juicy for you. So I like cooking it about medium well instead of like really well. Get a little pink still in there because it's still going to continue to cook in the heat, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ketchup and hit the 57. See it start coming out? Hear the plopping? That's the air cap and the air pockets that you're releasing by hitting the 57, and it comes out a lot easier. Okay, there it is. Now, how many times have you seen it that easy to open up a bottle of ketchup? You heard it here at CNY Flavor. Go to our website, cnyflavor.com, and learn some of these little tricks. Ooh, so you're going to get the ketchup going in. A lot of people don't realize that the ketchup, when they say Heinz 57, there's a lot of other ingredients in it than just tomatoes. And it makes a nice sauce. That's why this recipe, the Sloppy Joe recipe, with just a few other ingredients, it really makes it and brings out the taste, okay? So we're going to take 1 teaspoon here of pepper. You don't want to over pepper it. Do a nice level teaspoon, okay? And then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Tablespoon is about 2 to 2.5 teaspoons. I shouldn't say that, I should be more exact. It's 2. 1. And 2. They do have different types of Worcestershire sauce too. I like the Lea & Perrins. It's probably the best known, well-known Worcestershire sauce in the world. The premier. And you can get it pretty reasonably priced. Okay. And now, last but not least, what we're going to do is I have a 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. I like taking it and just sprinkling it over the top there. Boom. And again, if you don't like certain things, you don't like brown sugar, you don't have to add the brown sugar to it, but add a little sugar. And one of the reasons is this is a tomato-based product, being the ketchup, okay? And your pH balance on acidity levels when you're dealing with a tomato sauce, a tomato paste, spaghetti sauce and stuff, you want your alkalinity to be about 7. And what sugar does is it counteracts that like heartburn that you get from your pH balance from the acidity in the tomato. So it makes it so that you really don't get the heartburn and stuff. So if you don't like brown sugar, go ahead and use some regular sugar. Use a couple of tablespoons of regular white cane sugar, and that'll take the acidity out of it too and make it more palatable to you. All right, look at this. Now we're just going to let this sit and cook for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to plate it up and we're going to have some sloppy joes.
Hi, I'm Christy from In-Home Photos. You might think that you can't afford family photos, Christmas photos, or even senior photos. Well, think again. $75. That's it. $75 for great photos of your family. We can do outdoor photos or bring the studio to you. I can set up the most average living rooms with lots of backdrops to choose from. Call or visit inhomephotos.com to schedule your session today.
So here it is, almost done. One of the things I wanted to press upon you, that this makes 8 sloppy joes on your regular hamburger buns, okay? So you can feed, depending upon who's hungry, you each have a couple. You can feed 6 people, 5 people, whatever you like. You can make 8 of these. If you only want a couple, I'm going to plate up a couple of them right now. You can actually put this in the refrigerator. It'll last a week in the refrigerator, have a couple tomorrow, the next day. But you can do all this for your 8 burgers, 8 Sloppy Joe burgers for under $5. You can't beat that anywhere. Going out to buy it somewhere else, it will cost you at least, $2.50, $3 a burger or a Sloppy Joe. Here you can do it for under $1, okay? 80 cents, 75 cents yourself. Real good quality. Okay, and this is all ready to go. And we're just going to take it, make it real sloppy so it overhangs the platter. Oh. There you go. And there's your burgers right there, Sloppy Joes, okay? And you try this at home. Your kids will love you, your friends will love you, your family will love you. It's quick, it's easy, it's economical. It's cooking on a shoestring budget right here at CNY Flavor. Hey, welcome to Crazy Otto's Empire Diner. That's 100 West Albany Street right here in downtown Herkimer. You may remember me or notice me as the host at CNY Flavor. You can come on that website at cnyflavor.com and learn all about the cooking show that airs on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. But we're talking about Crazy Otto's Empire Diner right now. You know, a lot of times you see TV shows, you wonder if the cook, the chef is there, if he really actually cooks or he actually is in a restaurant. Well, I'm one of the guys that have been there, done that, and is still doing it. Right here, you can come in, you can see me cook. I'm here virtually every day. Here at Crazy Otto's, they don't call us crazy for nothing. Everything here is fresh and homemade. As you can see, we fresh slice our tomato. Everything's done fresh to order. Doing actually a BLT right now. This is Michael, also happens to be my son. Hey, all right. Hey, welcome to Crazy Otto's. Come on in, give us a try. You won't be disappointed. Hi, Scott Trainer here, host of CNY Flavor, and I get the privilege and the honor to be sitting here with Kim DeFaria. Her and her husband Ryan own the Main Street Ristorante right here in downtown Newport. It's off the beaten track a little bit because people don't really know about it, but you're going to know about it after this show. Kim, thank you for taking the opportunity to sit with me and talk.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, like you said, I'm Kim DeFaria. I was born and raised in Newport, New York. I went to culinary school, and that was about the only time I left New York. Went to Rhode Island, Johnson & Wales. Met my husband there, came back, and opened up this restaurant, Main Street Restaurant.
Cool. See, one of the things at CNY Flavor is we love focusing on the local mom and pop organization. And you are an accomplished chef, going to Johnson & Wales, which was a 4-year program, I believe,
yes.
for you. Yeah, because when I went to culinary art school, we used to compete with you guys at the Heinz Auditorium in Boston all the time. And I've had the privilege and the honor to eat here too. Okay, and you have some great specialties here, don't you?
We do. We sell prime rib. That's one of our most popular specials. We have chicken marsala, lasagna, homemade lasagna, many items.
Now, I know one of your fortes, okay, see, people don't like to toot their own horn, but you're pretty good at soups and sauces.
I love to make soups and sauces. Something that I watched my grandmother do years ago, and my mom, and I just enjoy doing them. I make harvest bisques, butternut squash, pumpkin, lobster bisque on Fridays, several times throughout the year. And it brings in so many people. They love our bisques and our soups.
And these are all homemade?
Yes, they are.
Not in a can?
Not from a can, right from scratch.
Right from scratch. And health-conscious people, okay, I understand you're doing some new things on the menu too.
Absolutely. Well, every day we do have a healthy soup. There might be 2 or 3 choices, but there's always one that's a healthy soup. Very soon we're going to be having an addition to our menu that offers whole foods, whole grain pastas.
See, you can't find that out at other restaurants.
You can't.
Okay.
It's very hard to.
Now, gluten-free, that's the big thing in today's market. Everybody's talking about gluten-free. You offer several things on your menus that already are gluten-free, and you're developing a gluten-free menu too.
We are, and as long as the customer tells our staff until the menu is printed, we will accommodate anything for the health conscious, diet conscious, and gluten-free conscious person.
Now, most restaurants, being in the restaurant industry myself for many, many years, they usually last a year or 2 before they go out of business. How long have you been here?
16. We just went over that hump. December 14th, it was our 16th year.
At the same location?
Same location.
16 years.
16 years.
That is an accomplishment and a testament that you're doing something right. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not, just blowing smoke here. Because to be in an establishment for 16 years, you got to be doing something right. I
attribute that to teamwork. My husband and I really, it chokes me up because we really work hard, and the customers notice that.
Okay, and they do. if you're not willing to put forth the effort, they usually don't. And it's okay to
That's
choke
it.
up. That's okay. That's good to show the emotion, because that's another thing with food when they call it culinary art. It's an art, and there's a passion involved.
Absolutely.
And I see that in you. You know, I see it in the dining room. I see it. You have a store back there too.
We do. We have a country primitive gift shop. It's a business within itself. At first, when we created it, I actually had a dining room back there, and if I filled the whole place and that dining room, I couldn't handle it. It was too busy, and people waited too long. But I wanted to be the one that prepared every meal that went out of this restaurant, so we decided that we would close that dining room, and then I had a bright idea to open a gift shop.
Okay, so you're closed Mondays and Tuesdays.
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Oh, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay. And you specialize in the lunch and the dinner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Now, your lunches, okay, they're pretty reasonably priced, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They range from $5.95 to $9.95.
Now, Kim, you do have beer and wine here, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay. You don't do it by the bottle, but you do it by the glass, and like your husband Ryan can recommend whether I'm having a fish dish or a beef dish, whether to go red, white, Chablis, whatever it is, correct?
Absolutely.
Here's the magic question. What's your phone number?
315-845-8835.
Now, are you into any of that social media?
We are. You can find us on Facebook. It's Main Street Ristorante and Gift Shop.
Okay.
And just like us.
That's right. Make sure you like them, okay? That's important. When people look at that and they see how many people like you, it just shows you're doing something right.
My husband and I, we work as a team. We have some staff, but we generally do the majority of the work. My mom and dad help. Just be patient when you come.
Okay.
I'm the only one that cooks, and I do every meal. Every meal goes through me, and from start to finish. So just if the restaurant's full, know I'm back there working as hard as I can, as diligently to prepare the finest meal for you.
See, and that's at CNY Flavor when we focus on, you heard me say the mom and the pop organizations, this really is a family-run business.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now, I'm going to ask you something else, because most people, majority of us, we don't like to stroke our own egos or look at me, look at all the stuff I do. But when we get the support from the community, we give back to the community, and I know you give a lot back to the community.
We certainly try. If it wasn't for the community, we wouldn't be here, and we appreciate what so many have done for us, and we definitely try to give back.
Great. Well, it's been a privilege and an honor to get to sit here and talk with you. I've actually known you for years, almost 10 years, but I've never actually sat down and talked with you. And one of the reasons is because she's in the back cooking.
That's right.
Okay?
You won't always see me, but I'm here.
and you wave to her real quick, and she's got her chef's jacket on, and she's running like her head is cut off. But I'll tell you, it was a great meal.
Oh,
and I would like to implore you guys that's watching the show, tell your friends, come on in, give them a try. You won't be disappointed. Thanks,
Thank
Kim.
you.
Thank you very much.
Scott.
Really appreciate it.
You bet.